Do you know what sound porcupines make when they kiss? Ouch.
I'm watching Clifford, White. White? Clifford, the big red dog? What is this body hole I'm seeing? Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to this review of Clifford the Big Red Dog from 2021. I've been meaning to get to this movie since then, and well, I finally did it. This movie is all about Clifford, based on the books of the same name. This is about what I expected, a kids movie with a fart joke thrown in. This doesn't try anything new, the characters are generic, but there is just little things about this movie I do want to talk about though. Like, it was just going to be a lazy review, and then the body horror stuff happened, and it's like, okay, I need to talk about this. And why? I kind of like it. So let's get into this. It starts with a mama dog and her pups being taken away, but Clifford gets left behind. So it's already starting with the feels. Why is he wed? Well, that's never explained, but, you know, whatever. The main character is Emily, who is different. I'll get into that later.
Different.
Who is also bullied a lot for being the new girl, like the great Zinger White here.
New girl.
Haha, yeah, take that, new girl. Amazing. So the mom is leaving for a few days and leaves her with Uncle Casey, who is like the wacky uncle who has no job, lives in a truck, and is a total screw-up. That kind of basic character in a kids movie, who I never really liked. He says some funny lines, but he's just so generic that he can be replaced by any actor. We do see Emily going around the neighborhood collecting recycling for school, even though like she's apparently new, she knows everyone and is like on friendly terms with everyone. It is kind of a bit weird if she's new to the neighborhood.
Good luck.
Hey, you know when I get really good at magic, you know what I'm gonna do?
Make her disappear.
No, I'm gonna cut her in half.
Oh.
That honestly did make me laugh quite a bit because I did not expect it, but at the same time, one. Girl, one. Sorry if the lighting changed. It looks like it's darker on here. I actually look really good in this lighting at the moment, but it looks, yeah, it's that kind of day with the sun and all that. It is kind of that day. Clifford is then seen running around New York and pretends to be a pigeon, and then suddenly John Cleese. His name is Mr. Birdswell, and Emily and Casey end up at like his animal tent full of all kinds of animals.
Hey, my spirit animal.
Which the name Birdwell is the last name of the creator of the books. That's a nice little nod there. Which then is John Cleese, who's a bit of a strange character, speaking of magic and so on.
Is that a baby giraffe?
Or a long-necked hyena. I can't be sure till I tell it a joke.
Yeah, so that's where that scene from the beginning came from. Just a long-necked hyena. Never thought I'd see that in Clifford. Speaking of Clifford, this is where he is, and the girl instantly falls in love with him. Bertrell saying he'll get as big as your love for him. I apparently really love myself because I'm getting kind of big. In other words, yes, there's magic in this world. But Casey doesn't let her keep her, and so they move on. Emily makes her way to school with her recycling, and turns out no one actually does the recycling, so she's just making a fool of herself, in short. But this little dude comes over to cheer her up.
It's Owen, right? You know my name? Did I say that out loud?
I do kind of love him. He was quick with the jokes and was good in the role.
Makes you feel any better. I collected cans too. My dad threw them away. Said I look like an Asian Oliver Twist.
She has a bad day at school and tries looking up Birdwell, but nothing. Then her bag starts moving, and ta-da, it's Clifford. She names him and then he runs off with her slipper. And now something I want to talk about is the inconsistent sizing when he's a puppy. Like, I know pups are small, but we see him in the kitchen and now he just looks really tiny to me. Like, the sizing just looks really off. Is that just me? Let me know in the comments. Also, like and subscribe while you're at it. Thank you. Anyway, though, she's able to keep the dog for the night. But then we see a gif of what happened to her at the school, which has upsetted her. As always, when it comes to stuff like this, who filmed that? Who filmed in that angle? It does annoy me in movies when they do this, but it's just footage from a movie, and it's not from like a different character filming it.
Huh. Can't fool me this time.
So while she's crying and holding Clifford, she wishes to be big and strong so the world can't hurt them. And then Mr. Birdwell, being a little bit of a creep, is standing outside their window. And next day, Clifford is a big puppy, which of course destroys her womb.
Sit, boy, sit.
Casey, of course, freaks out, and the landlord shows up to fix the sink, which aren't allowed to have pets in the home. And he's a bit of a grouchy bum, so blah blah, hilarity as Casey gets smacked around by a dog. Somehow it manages to sneak around the house without being seen. And afterwards, Emily wants to take him to a vet to see if they can understand what's going on. But how do they get around New York? Well, that's easy. It's New York.
No, I don't care if it's Johnny Appleseed. Don't touch my petunias.
Honestly, Americans not recognizing what's right in front of them, yeah, that makes sense. Owen shows up and essentially gets stolen, and then Clifford sees a big ball and goes for it. I do love his little walk at the end, like he's so proud of himself. And then Clifford answers the big question, does he pee and poop?
I hope I'm not around for number 2.
So because this is a kids movie, we've got to have an evil corporation doing genetic experiments and other such things to try and make food bigger. And then suddenly, two-headed goat. Again, body horror for the kids. They also see Clifford on the internet thanks to all the videos taken of him and want to put a microchip in him to claim him as theirs. And now they are at the vet with the dog staring as Clifford acts very inappropriately. And then they need to check his temperature. And how do you do that with an animal? From their butthole. I said that so casually. But it's the fact that they really love pointing out that he has a butt in this movie. Meaning, like, with these last few scenes, he very much just has those parts. I'm just putting that out there. Like, this movie definitely is. The receptionist then tells them whenever something weird happens involving animals, it's always Mr. Birdswell. Like, I will say, this world where this weird old dude helps people with magical animals, it's not a bad idea. Does it work in Clifford? Honestly, kinda. I mean, in the book, Clifford did grow because of Emily's love. That's accurate to the first original book. They're just adding more of stuff, like, with, like, the magic and the old dude. Is it needed? No. Like Lyle Lyle Crocodile, he was a crocodile that could just sing. But making a movie focused on Clifford's origins in this world, I guess isn't the worst idea. I'm kinda here for it. And the idea of this movie is Clifford is there to help her become big and show her voice to the world and face up against her bullies and so on. Like, the receptionist mentions that there are other animals that have helped out people. Like, she mentions someone who was depressed and never spoke, so he was given a parrot that only says positive things, which made the man happy and able to speak. I kinda like this idea. They go to school to get information on Birdwell, but the bully is here, but Clifford helps Emily to deal with her bully, and that's the last we ever see of his character. They were the most tamest bully I've ever seen in a movie. That whole idea of Clifford helping her overcome her bully, as I said, was so terribly done. It really was. They go home, but they see they're evicted because the bad dude told the landlord about, like, them having a dog, and so now they're gonna be evicted. Outside, a dude Emily saw earlier is up on top of the roof fixing a satellite dish, and whoops, is now holding on to dear life, but Clifford comes running in and saves the day. Her way. Casey all sad because he messed up and lost a house that belongs to his big sister, who looked after him. He does a whole little spew thing here. But they do find the information on where Birdswell will be. The bad dude shows up pretending it's his dog and tries to bribe a child. Casey is happy too, of course, but Emily points out the dude is lying. But they manage to put the chip in Clifford anyway. So now Clifford runs with the neighborhood helping him escape, which this part did make me chuckle.
Gotta hold him.
They manage to get into Owen's apartment, which just so happens to be huge. The mum calls up while another dog shows up and wants to sniff Clifford's butt. And then, because, as you guys know, it's one of my catchphrases, I cannot escape Vor.
Just,
I really can't escape it. It's an everything. Maybe because I need to stop watching kids' movies. It's always in kids' movies. Bad dude goes to the cops and tells them about Clifford and scares them enough that they make a press statement that they'll be rewarding anyone for bringing in the dog. So when Owen's dad comes home, they ask for help, and he sets up for Clifford to go to China. Apparently where, he has, a big reserve there for him. But of course, Emily doesn't want to, and eventually Casey accepts. They go to a hospital where Birdwood is, but passed away apparently. Also fart joke here, because it's a kids movie.
This is what killed the dinosaurs!
Gotta add in those kinds of jokes. Man, being an adult furry, it's just... you realise things, you know? Sadly, it looks like they'll have to take them to China. Which, it's just China, just so they could show it in the cinemas over there. So now, all sad as they say goodbye, and Clifford gets taken away. The mom in the morning then sees her daughter on the news with Big Red Dog, so makes her way home. So it's a sad third act of this movie, but turns out Birdwell is alive.
Birdwell's alive! I mean, this guy's dead, which is tragic, but...
Birdwell's alive!
Yeah! Feels weird high-fiving the dead.
They then see Clifford was taken off the boat by the bad dude, and the neighborhood again wants to help him out. So they break into the facility and gets him out, while Emily rides off with him. And yeah... the CGI here isn't good. Speaking of the CGI, it's not bad. It's really not that bad. It can kind of seem kind of fuzzy here and there. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's basically, I never believed he was there for a moment. I never believed he was a real dog. It's definitely worse than Liar Liar, where I thought it was pretty solid in that movie. But, whatever, it's a kids movie, what do you expect? The movie goes on, we get the big final chase scene of the movie, it goes on for a little bit. They make it to the park where Mr. Birdwell is, but he can't help. It was her love that made him big, and so now they need to take charge and speak up before the cops do what cops do best to the innocent. Basically, the lesson here is sometimes you have to speak up for what you want and be big. But then the conversation goes into, talking about being different and that it's okay. But, what makes her so different? There's nothing in this movie that makes her seem different. She was a new girl getting picked on. That's just school. Doesn't mean she's different. All the kids at school, it did seem like it was a witch school, and so all the kids were witch, and that was the problem? That's what made her different, that she was poor? Or something like that. It's not very clear, because it doesn't seem like she's poor, but that's how they make it out to be. It's weird. Or I guess he doesn't come from a witch family, like Casey doesn't, lives in his truck, but it's just, it's weird that, the only difference is, she's poor. That means she's different. She's different from everyone. It doesn't work. It's weird trying to do this message of being different with someone who just isn't. Clifford, yes. Clifford is very much different. I understand them trying to do the story there of being different for Clifford. Yeah, absolutely. But her? No. That to me is a bit of a problem in this movie for sure. Anyway, Emily manages to convince everyone, but the bad dude shows up, saying he's microchipped. The cop checks, but it says Emily's name instead, which Birdwell indicates it was magic. So it's a happy ending. They summarize it all at the end that the landlord dude just was okay with it suddenly, and that Casey got a job as an artist drawing the original looking Clifford. Not once indicating that he had any kind of artistic skills or was even interested in art. Yeah, Lyle did that so much more better. And the movie is finally done. So, I don't know what to think of this movie. It's a hugely average movie with a terrible bully character. Very basic characters who are just not interesting. With CGI that's passable, but not always. And the story is extraordinarily basic. But I do like the neighborhood characters. I got a few laughs out of them. I like the weird magical world with a hyena with a long neck, as weird body horror as it is. I did laugh several times in this movie. I really liked the jokes. They were pretty decent, so it's really not all that bad. I can easily recommend this movie to furries out there who just want another little simple kids movie. It's really not that bad, but it really doesn't do all that much either, and it fumbles at where it matters most to me, is the idea of Clifford helping her out, helping her become big and strong. While it happened, I never really felt like it mattered. I never felt like she was a weird kid, that she was different. I never felt that. So what's my score? Well, I think I'll give this movie a 5.5 out of 10 foxes. It's an average kids movie, but I like some of the jokes and the neighborhood characters. I was never bored watching this at any point. I really was never bored. So I think it does deserve that little half point at least. It's not a 6, but it's half a point. Yeah, more. So yeah, what do you guys think? Have you ever watched this movie? Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this movie. And let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this review. I do my best. I do what I can. That's all that matters. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please do give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and VitoFox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.